So we're here at the Arnold, and I'm standing in the Bucked Up booth. And if you guys don't know what Bucked Up is, well, you're missing out. This is some of the best supplements on the planet. I'm a big fan of theirs. They just came out with a gummy product, which I'm a huge fan of. Tell us about the new product. This is Ryan. He's the CEO. He is one half of the founding group that has created this product. So
yeah, I do have a twin brother. I am the CEO. But guess what? It's like two CEOs in one.
No, but who gets there more handsome?
You know, they really can't tell the difference. So whether they say it's me or him, I don't care.
So you got a new product that just launched today.
Yes. So we're actually sampling out the protein RTDs, and they're actually lightly carbonated, 25 grams. They launch on TikTok March 6th through the 10th. That's where we're launching it for the first time. We're just sampling them out here, and then everybody can go to TikTok and get them.
So when we had met a couple months ago, I was out in Salt Lake City with you. The innovation process. What's your background that you guys keep coming up with stuff? Because tell us where you started with the deer antler and how it became Bucked Up.
I mean, Bucked Up, we were actually online marketing guys. We're driving traffic for everybody. And we said, hey, if we know how to do this, why are we doing it for everyone else? Let's start our own. And we were actually domain buyers at the time. And we bought a domain name called deerantlerspray.com. after we read about it in Sports Illustrated.
Well, everybody was selling it at that time. It was a big deal.
Yeah, it was a big deal. Then a couple months later, about 8 months later, Ray Lewis got accused of taking it right before the Super Bowl, and overnight, it blew out. It went crazy. GNC called us a couple days later and said, how fast can you fulfill 30,000 bottles? And that's where it all started.
And that's where it also, but some of the innovation, I mean, this is an awesome product. It's protein, it's a cleaner kind of soda taste. Obviously, the carbonated drinks are huge in this space right now.
Yep.
Being in this space, a lot of what we talk about on the Strongest Fuck podcast is the business side, being innovative, being able to adapt. Who's doing a lot of that?
Well, that's me and my twin brother. We like to come out with innovative and new items that nobody has. Right now, this is a lightly carbonated protein, which isn't out on the market right now. There's been people who have tried it in the past but have failed, but we feel like we're really onto something. No lactose, it's not milky, it's a clear, it almost tastes like an energy drink. In fact, some of the people that we tell out here are going, hey, this is protein? They didn't even know it was protein. So
it doesn't. The problem with a lot of protein is that it doesn't have that. It has that chalky taste. This doesn't. How long does this take? Like from beginning to now, how long does that take?
It takes about 5 or 6 months of process of going through it. Now, when we first got a whole bunch of the clear protein, we actually had the ones without carbonation, and you do get that chalky, slimy feeling on your tongue. So once we added carbonation, we were like, wow, this is it. And it makes it completely change once you add a little lightly carbonation.
I think that's the thing. I think that's what I've never seen before is the carbonation in it. But I mean, that's the hard stuff. Let's talk about the fun stuff. You're out here, you're at the Arnold, we were at the Olympia. You get to do some really cool shit. You get, how do you justify, right? As a business owner, I buy a piece of artwork and everybody's like, how much you pay for that? I go, it adds to the brand. Yep. When does this start to happen? When do you start buying?
Look, we started out here at the Arnold, believe it or not, in a little 10 by 10. And once you start getting sales and once you start getting your brand out there, then you can start talking about doing stuff like this. But only once you get sales going, do you really want to take that leap? Believe it or not, expos are not cheap. This right here, this booth area, about 65 to 70 grand. Then you have all the items, you have all the people that you have to bring out. Yep. You have to be very careful and methodical about it.
And obviously I'm in the business myself, I'm putting on expos and stuff. This is very hard, and I think people forget about how costly this becomes. You're flying everybody out, you're putting everybody up.
Dinners, everything, yeah. Everything from dinners, hotels, flights. We try to get a bunch of ambassadors that are local so we don't have to bring them, fly them in. They can just drive in, but they still, all of it adds up.
Just because I'm curious, and I've been doing it myself with my own brand, when do you start, walk me through the process of bringing on ambassadors, right? Because they're such an intricate part of your business. They really
Right.
drive the business forward. But when you start saying like, hey, I think it's time for us to start paying some of these kids to do this, and where do you find them?
Yeah, so when we first started, we only started with ambassadors. We have over 90,000 ambassadors right now.
Shit.
Yeah, and it's not what we say about our product, it's what everybody else says about it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, look, you're a
course it
really
is.
popular guy.
Yeah.
But you can only do so much.
course.
But when everybody else hears about it and says how great your product is, that's where you get the momentum, and that's where you get going. Then you start working on getting sponsored athletes that can really move the needle. You know, and we just signed like Alex Eubank, we have Conor McGregor. You know,
I
there's
saw that.
some big plays. You know,
So, but when you start to hire some of these local ambassadors, some of these, some of these younger kids who are actually, that's what I think most of this audience is here.
Yeah, and
It definitely skews younger.
Yeah, and it's definitely a great experience for them too, because what they do is they get to hear it from us, how we sell it, and they actually learn and experience it. Next thing you know, they're getting us in all the other gyms.
Yeah.
You know,
you
and that's really where it's taken off.
Wait, do you ever feel the pressure of like having to come up with new products, or are you like,
course.
hey, we have a full line, we're good with this, let's lean into this and just kind of create more flavors? Or are you always just sit up at night? Because that's my problem. I sit up at night being like, all right, what do I do next?
Yeah. Yes. So always that's in the back of your mind, like, hey, what's next? Because even with GNC, Vitamin Shop, Walmart, they're like, what's next? So you've always got to be thinking about what's coming up next. We do go to ingredient shows called Supply Side West, where we learn about different ingredients and how we can apply them in different products.
Okay.
So that's kind of where we get our ideas from, but still it takes execution and having the right team to make sure that you can get it out to the market.
What has been the best part of all this for you? You know, I saw you
it's just-
sitting at the games with Connor and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, when do you ever pinch yourself and say, holy shit, how'd this become my life?
I mean, it's a fun industry. We love fitness, we love working out, we love just the whole vibe, energy drinks, but just to be able to, I mean, like you say, it's almost like, man, we were just sitting with Conor McGregor at the Jazz game, at the BYU game, and just to be able to rub shoulders with all these different influencers, it's awesome.
Well,
great.
guys, you heard it from him right out of his mouth. I mean, this is Ryan. He's the innovator here. If you're ever out at the Arnold or the Olympia, come say hi. I couldn't have met a better guy. We had met on the street
That's right.
in New York. He had come by and we were doing a street meet, but we became quick buddies, and these guys are doing some really great stuff. I sell their products in my gym. If you have a gym out there, I know there's a lot of gym owners and traders out there, grab some of their stuff. Their gummies are incredible. Their pre-workouts, they're known for.
Yep.
I mean, they're great product. And also the new stuff. What is it called?
So this, it's just our Bucked Up Protein RTD. And like I said, it launches on TikTok March 6th through March 11th. That's just where we're going to launch it. And we're trying to get it in as many people's hands as possible. So, get bucked up.
I love that.